What is going on, you guys? Let's talk about some Dragon Ball, but let's not just talk about Dragon Ball as it is. Let's talk about things that I would change when it comes to Dragon Ball. Now, I just want to say right up front, these are not story-breaking changes. This is not me rearranging the continuity or making heavy changes to the series lore. These are some smaller changes that I personally think would have been, more satisfying for me as an audience member. Just some small things scattered throughout the series that I think would have made the series a bit better, at least for me. And you can totally feel free to disagree. You can totally feel free to name 5 things that you would change in the Dragon Ball series. These are just 5 little moments where if I'm ever rewatching or rereading the series, I kind of look at it and think, well, would have been cool if that happened. So this is those things. Either those, and that would have been cool if that happened instead. So, without further ado, let's get started. Oh, I should mention, of course, spoilers for Dragon Ball. Probably very minor ones, but still spoilers for Dragon Ball if you've never seen it. And then, of course, no Super. I could probably think of like 15 changes I would make to Super, and I like Super too. And for the record, I do love Dragon Ball, and this video is in no way claiming that I'm a better writer than Toriyama, or that what Toriyama did was bad and my ideas are better. That's up for you to decide or disagree or agree. Even I'm not taking a hard stance on that. These are just some cool alternative ideas, some what-ifs that I thought were kind of neat, so I'm going to list them now. Just wanted to get all the pretenses out of the way. So starting off with number 5, Gohan and Krillen beating Guldo. Whenever I think about the Namek arc, and I think about Gohan and Krillen, I know they have their moments. They have their moments stealing the 4-star ball, getting their power-ups. But then when I think about getting the power-ups, I kind of think to myself, well, in the long run, these obviously served a purpose for the story, but when it comes to Namek itself, they feel kind of pointless. Because nothing really comes of it. You know, like Gohan gets his rage moment against second form Frieza, and that's awesome, but they don't really accomplish anything, and Krillin usually has at least a win to his name if he's involved in an arc. He has wins in a couple of the tournaments. He has wins in the Saiyan Saga. He kills like 4 Cybermen. That's like killing 4 Raditz. That's impressive for the little guy. But in Namek, he really doesn't get that moment, Again, he has his moments, cutting off Frieza's tail, saving Gohan. But in my opinion, it would have been nice to see them actually beat Guldo and actually show that these power-ups meant something. And you could still have Vegeta kill Guldo. You could have them knock Guldo unconscious and beat him, and then Vegeta would be like, oh, you guys are soft like Kakarot, and just blast Guldo's body, because that's what he did with the rest of the Ginyu Force, except for Jace anyway. So I like the idea that Vegeta kills all the Ginyu Force members. Even the writers of Super knew that they liked that idea because they had him kill Ginyu once and for all. So that made it so he officially killed every member of the Ginyu Force. And I like that. You could still keep that, but also give Gohan and Krillin that time to shine and not have them look so pathetic. And I don't think it changes the story much. I think it's just nice to give those characters a bit of a win against the Ginyu Force before they just start getting their asses beat by Recoome. But that's number 5, kind of low on the list. It's a pretty small thing, but let's move on. Number 4. Removing King Cold or Mecha Frieza. Now let me explain, because that might sound kind of contradictory. Okay, so as we all know, the Trunks arc, or the early Android Saga, whatever, like a prologue to the Android Saga, Frieza comes back, he survived. Kind of disappointing, honestly, because Goku finally decided to kill someone, because he was going through that character arc at the time. I mean, most people will try to tell you Goku doesn't have character development. That's bullshit. Goku was going through the character arc of being very merciful with his opponents, and he finally said, you know what, screw it, I gotta kill this guy. Kind of disappointing that he didn't kill him, but I'll get into that. So Frieza survives, he's mechanized, he brings his dad with him and a bunch of soldiers, comes to Earth. No one can stop him, but this guy shows up out of nowhere. He's a Super Saiyan, beats both of them easily. And then we get the hype for the androids, and it works because Frieza was an opponent that we already knew was powerful. So to see him get defeated easily, and then have this guy also say that the opponents they're going to face later are even stronger than Frieza, is good hype. The problem I have is, with Mecha Frieza there, King Cold really serves no purpose. Like, Trunks killing him, it's an okay scene. Like, it's not bad, but it's not like a super incredible, memorable scene. Not like him killing Frieza. Him killing Frieza is like an all-time memorable scene. But killing King Cold is whatever. Like, you could easily just remove him, and it wouldn't change the story at all. It would still be him killing Frieza, hyping up the androids, all that stuff. But if you remove Mecha Frieza and have just King Cold, well, now King Cold takes center stage. Now he has motivation and a goal to get revenge for his son. You can have the character say he's as strong as Frieza and have Trunks kill him. And it still would make him overall a pointless character, but you would also give, that finality to the Goku versus Frieza fight. Goku would have actually killed Frieza, and that's why King Cold wanted revenge. To me, though, that's just how I would have done it. I would have done either King Cold only or Mecha Frieza only. Maybe actually King Cold. My thumbnail's kind of a lie because I have like a red X crossing him out. But I think just King Cold will be better because having Goku actually kill Frieza I think is better, personally. But again, another small change, not really a big deal. I just feel like King Cold is just a pointless character. Like he's just there, but Mecha Frieza taking most of the focus. So if you removed him, the story's no different, but if you remove Mecha Frieza, the story is different, and I think it's better for, like, finality to Goku's fight with Frieza. So yeah, I guess I prefer King Cold only. I guess I figured that out while listing this one, but anyways, let's move on. Number 3. Extend the Goku versus Majin Vegeta fight. This fight in the manga, because that's what we're talking about, we're not talking about the anime. When we're talking about the manga, this fight lasts maybe the equivalent of a chapter, and that's including dialogue. There's really not a lot of combat. What combat is there is cool, but there's not a lot, and it's kind of disappointing when you consider the build-up. I mean, this is the last arc of Dragon Ball, and Goku and Vegeta have had this rivalry for so long, and Vegeta's finally becoming a good guy, but then he kind of withdraws, and he wants to become evil again. He goes through all this, he blows up those people, and Goku is threatening the Supreme Kai's life, saying, I gotta fight Vegeta. There's all this build-up. And then there's really not much of a fight. I'm not saying it has to be exactly like the anime version, whether it be Kai or the original. I'm just saying I would have liked a little bit more. Like, I get from a story standpoint that they're so powerful that it doesn't take much for them to revive Majin Buu, but I feel like Toriyama put up a lot of hype for this fight and did not deliver on the content. It just is really short, not much to it. It's fun, it's fun for what it's there, and the dialogue between them is great, but I think a little bit more dialogue, a little bit more fighting, really make this feel like the rematch that it's supposed to be, which I think the anime did capture, and they kept that stuff in the Kai version. Yeah, I mean, you guys may agree or disagree. Again, it is true that they're so powerful that reviving Buu would not take very long, so you'd have to tweak the story a little bit there, I guess, but I don't know, I feel like there could have been more to that fight. Mainly because of the build-up. If there wasn't such great build-up, it probably wouldn't be that big of a deal, but the build-up is so good, and Vegeta's character is so good in those moments. But that's just my opinion, of course. So, let's move on to number 2. Overhauling Gohan versus Cell. This is probably the closest thing on this list to breaking the story or making heavy changes to the story. Not really, I mean, it would still conclude the same way, but in my opinion, Gohan vs. Cell is one of the most disappointing final battles in Dragon Ball, and I know that might piss off some people watching this video, but hear me out. Most of the final battles in Dragon Ball, for my tastes personally, the best ones are the ones that are actual even struggles, and most of them are. You have Goku versus King Piccolo, Goku versus Piccolo Jr., Goku versus Vegeta, Goku versus Frieza. They're all these even struggles. There's a little bit of one-sidedness with Goku versus Frieza for a while, but then it goes back to being a more even struggle when he goes Super Saiyan and then he overwhelms Frieza. But they don't drag that part out. They don't drag out, like with Gohan versus Cell, it's Cell beating the crap out of Gohan. And then when he goes Super Saiyan 2, it's Gohan beating the crap out of Cell. And to me, that's just not satisfying after all the hype and all the buildup of an entire saga to just have the final battle be like a one-sided slaughter. It's something I'm really glad Super didn't do with Goku versus Jiren. I mean, Goku had the upper hand for the most of the fight, but I'm glad that it was not, Jiren did give him a run for his money. It was not just a one-sided slaughter in the favor of Goku. It was not an anticlimactic fight. I mean, hell, I'd say Goku versus Cell was a more entertaining fight than Gohan versus Cell. And again, I don't hate it, and it has its iconic moments, and you can still end it the same with the father and son Kamehameha, but I feel like there should have been more of an even battle. I feel like Super Saiyan 2 maybe should have been powered down, or trim the Gohan dominating Cell stuff a bit. Maybe just have like that really overpowered, lazy Kamehameha that Gohan does, have Cell blow himself up, come back stronger, they have an even fight, and then it ends with the clash. That's how I would have done it personally, but The way it is isn't awful, objectively speaking. I personally just think it's anticlimactic, and if you love the fight, totally fine again. Not saying I'm better writer than Toriyama, not saying you have to agree with me. Probably the most controversial thing on this list, honestly, but yeah, it's quote-unquote controversial. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents on the matter. But anyways, moving on to number 1. Giving the humans more to do in the Buu saga. I am not someone who subscribes to the idea that the humans are useless in the Z portion of the series. They definitely serve their purpose in the Saiyan saga, especially in the Android saga. You know, Tien has his moment, Krillin has his character development. They have their moment. Even Yamcha taking Goku to take the heart medicine is important. Like, they have their moments no matter how small they are. Namek's like the only one where most of them get, not shafted, but you know, they're dead, so they're just kind of training with King Kai. And even then, that's still progressing their power, at least a little bit. And then again, in the Android saga, they have their moments. But in the Buu saga, yeah, Tien shows up, tries to help out. I feel like that could have been a bit bigger, a little bit expanded. And then give Krillin and Yamcha something. I mean, these are characters we've been following since the beginning of the series. They've had their moments throughout the entire run. Why is it that in the last saga, now they're just completely sidelined, you know? And they don't have to be fight scenes necessarily, because they weren't fight scenes in the Android saga, except for Tien. They were, you know, Krillin with the button and his development with 18 and wanting to blow her up. And then with Yamcha, it was taking Goku to get the heart medicine. But because the Buu saga is so fight-focused and it's such just a huge battle royale with people just trying to attack Buu over and over, I feel like it should have been something combat-related. Like, then Piccolo, too. Piccolo should have done more, maybe. He helps Goten and Trunks train, so I guess that's kind of covers Piccolo. But as far as Krillin goes, I mean, you could have had him not turn to stone. You could have had him infiltrate Babidi's ship. Goku and Vegeta go through their floors with pretty much no effort at all. Krillin could have a floor. He could struggle, overcome an opponent for his family. Nice Krillin moment. The anime gives him a moment where he attacks Super Buu, but again, we're not talking about the anime. So, yeah, it would have been nice to see a bit more. Yamcha, again, they try to give some of these human characters something to do by having them go look for the Dragon Balls in the anime. That's a terrible, terrible episode. Oh my god, that's a really bad episode. A great animation, but bad episode. I'm so stupid that Kai kept that in, but whatever. But again, like I said, we're not even talking about the anime in general. We're talking about the manga. These characters that we've known for so long. You know, we meet Yamcha really early in the story. We meet Krillin really early in the story. Tien, not as early as Krillin and Yamcha, but still pretty early. It would have been nice to have them have a little bit more to do in the final saga. Yeah, they all give energy to the Spirit Bomb, but everyone gives energy to the Spirit Bomb, so it's not really that big of a deal. I think the Tournament of Power has honestly handled these characters better, except for Yamcha, of course. And it does kind of annoy me. Like, it's funny that Yamcha gets to be the butt of the jokes, and they did the whole fucking baseball episode, and he was in the death pose, and that stuff is hilarious, but it would be nice. Like, it is a little annoying that Yamcha is so shafted so hard in Super, but whatever. But that's my number 1 pick. What do you guys think? Do you agree with any of the choices I made? Do you disagree with any of them? What are 5 things that you would change in the Dragon Ball series? Go ahead and tell me in the comments section below. They can be as story-breaking or as small as you want them to be. I chose to make them small because I thought that was more interesting and less of a headache to think about how I would rewrite the whole story. But yeah, tell me in the comment section below what you guys think, all that stuff. Give this video a thumbs up, share it on social media. Both those would help me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already, or if you like what you've seen here. Click the little bell to get notifications when my videos go up. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.